Considered to be a horrible bite. What an amazing snake. Whew. Look at that guy. Whew. A little bit of venom on my face shield there. Hey, good morning everybody and welcome to the vlog. And today is going to be amazing because we are going to be able to play with some of my favorite venomous snakes. Of course, this beautiful leucistic monocled cobra. I mean, just take a look at this little dude here, and it is so mellow. I mean, it won't even hood up. I think that you could probably handle this thing like a corn snake, to be totally honest with you, although I promise you I'm not going to do that. Now, monocled cobras are just an amazing big cobras, and I love them. They have an absolutely huge range, and they're the most polymorphic of all of the venomous snakes, coming in all kinds of different colors. And like I said, you can see this guy here is just so puppy dog tame. He's not doing anything. And hey, when I say puppy dog tame, that doesn't mean that I think you should hold it, because if you did something silly, you can certainly get bit. And these guys have a pretty nasty toxin as well. It's mainly a neurotoxin that basically shuts down your nervous system, but these guys will also have a little myotoxin as well as a cardiotoxin. So again, this guy is not something you want to get bit by. That is absolutely for sure. But like I said, he's not moving around or doing anything that you would think that would ever cause you anything. Now you can take a look at my hand right here. This is the one thing that I always am doing. I don't want this snake to curl around me like that, because once it grabs me, I can't let it go. So if anything ever were to happen, I can always let this snake go and re-grab it. I'm doing a technique that is basically called tailing. And that's just that I have my thumb at the base of its tail, and I can kind of turn its spine and actually manipulate the way the snake is going to some extent. There it goes, hooding up just a little bit right there. Now again, these guys are called monocled cobras because in the wild where they're from, which is all over Southeast Asia, they have that one ring on their back. That's like a monocle, right? Now, we've seen a lot of Indian cobras that have what they call a spectacle pattern with the two circles on the back. But these guys are absolutely amazing. They are egg layers, and they'll have anywhere up to 30 eggs, believe it or not. But what an absolutely gorgeous snake this is, isn't it? Woo, doggy. I tell you what, there's just something about messing with venomous snakes, and in particular elapids, that I absolutely love. But hey, this isn't the only venomous snake that we have to play with today, but I tell you what, I could play with this thing all day long, because not only is it unbelievably gorgeous, but it's also just such an amazingly well-behaved animal. Wow, what a great, great snake. Alright guys, so what we have here is an absolutely amazing rattlesnake. This is the timber rattlesnake, or Rinkhals Cobra. These guys are native to a large part of North America. They'll literally range all the way up into Minnesota, all the way over to New Hampshire, and even all the way down into the Carolinas and Georgia. So a really wide berth, and they're absolutely amazing. Some are more silver, some are more dark like this one, and this one is absolutely gorgeous. I tell you what, I have always loved rattlesnakes, and these guys are one of my favorites. Now, a couple things about these that make them really cool is the fact that their venom varies from depending on where they're at. The more northern parts of the terrain of the venom from the timber rattlesnake is typically hemotoxic, which basically just means it's necrotic. It'll rot away your skin, it'll clog your blood, something like that. Now, what's interesting is a lot of times they thought that this was an animal that was relatively a milder bite because of the hemotoxin. It would still be medically significant in the fact that you'd want to get treatment, but it wasn't considered to be a horrible bite like some of the diamondback bites and so on like that. But what's happened is that there's some southern varieties of these guys, believe it or not, that have a neurotoxin. And that neurotoxin is actually considered to be pretty bad and can even be fatal with a bite. So definitely something that you have to be aware of depending on where you end up catching or whatever locality these guys are actually from. Of course, this one has all those incredible buttons on it. Wow, you know, I tell you what, it takes a long time to get that many buttons for sure. Again, those buttons are actually to try to keep you away. A lot of people think venomous snakes are mean and they want to bite. The truth is, they have those little buttons there warning you like, hey, I'm here, stay away from me. I don't want to bite you. I don't want you to come near me. And when you hear this, probably a good idea to stay away from that little monkey for sure, because you don't want to take a bite from these guys, because again, being a front fang venomous snake, it's going to sink its teeth in and be pretty radical. Now, these guys are live bearers just like all the other rattlesnakes, but one of the things that's really causing some issues with this particular species of snake, especially in the northeast of America, is there's actually a fungus that is actually attacking these snakes and wiping out entire populations. Now these guys will actually den during the winter time, so you'll find dozens of them together, and that's part of the problem, is that this fungus is actually spreading to all of the animals in the den. Now some scientists believe that maybe it's because we're not getting as cold of winters now, and the fungus is able to grow, whereas maybe they've always had it, but when it got really cold, the fungus would die off. Now that the winters are much more mild, it's actually wiping out populations. There's certain states where you can hardly even find these guys now. Ooh, dog, I tell you what, these things are absolutely gorgeous. You guys might realize that I'm wearing some glasses here because this guy is actually a little bit of a spitting cobra. This is a Rinkhals Cobra right here. Unbelievable animals. I mean, these guys are so absolutely incredible. I mean, just take a look at that. And they're very unique. They're not actually a Niger species. And again, they don't spit like some of the Mozambique spitters, where they actually have to come back and actually sling it at you in a way, but they absolutely use it as a defense for sure. And the thing that's really interesting about Rinkhals too is that they're live-bearing cobras. I mean, just take a look at this. Now this is probably about an adult size. They can get a little bit bigger, but males and females are heavily sexually dimorphic, and they're just absolutely incredible animals. These guys are from South Africa. Again, there's so many things that make these guys unique. This really rough keeled scale, almost like a viper or even a rattlesnake, is something you don't see on other cobras, as well as the fact that, again, cobras are egg layers, and these guys are actually live bearers. Now, another thing that's really interesting is that they will actually play dead, much like a hognose almost. So sometimes when you catch these things in the wild, which I've had the pleasure to do, when you actually catch them, they'll roll upside down, they'll stick their tongue out, and they'll actually look like they're dead, which is just crazy cool. But this guy is pretty good. When we first got him out, he was definitely a little bit, you know, standoffish, but Rinkhals typically are relatively good animals, but again, it's something that you really don't want to get bit by. I don't know that it would be a fatal bite per se, but definitely something that you don't want to get hit by. They'll have a little bit of myotoxin and neurotoxin as well, so again, something that will mess you up. And it's like I've been saying, you never really want to get bit by a venomous snake, and he just spit some on my hand. I literally felt the venom hit my hand when he struck at my hand like that. So you can see he's up in the air now, he's going around, and he'll just like fling his body forward, and that's how they actually project the venom. Look at that guy. Wow, it's beautiful. And this particular locality is really unbelievably, it's probably the most beautiful of the Rinkhals, because a lot of these guys will be born with the bars like this, but as they get older, they basically turn black, which is still really cool, but they're not really as beautiful. The ones that stay like this unbelievable banding is unbelievably beautiful. What an incredible, incredible snake. I tell you what a pleasure to just have time with these animals right now. I love venomous snakes, but guys, I cannot stress enough that if you're messing with venomous animals, you always have to be extremely careful, number one, and number two, never try to act like a cowboy. Like I mentioned earlier, there are no badges of honor for being bitten by a venomous snake, and there's no badges of honor for doing things that could potentially get you bit by a venomous snake. Be safe, be smart, because listen, when you get bit because you're doing something you shouldn't do, all it does is hurt the entire hobby. We want people that are responsible and knowledgeable and experienced to be able to keep these animals forever and have these amazing, wonderful experiences like I'm having today. And every time someone makes a mistake and gets bit, we're one step closer to laws that are outlawing these things. So listen guys, I love venomous snakes. I've been working with them since I was a teenager. And if you want to mess with these guys, my suggestion to you is get a mentor. Someone that has dealt with venomous snakes for a long time that is willing to allow you to kind of learn from them so that you can learn from their mistakes. That way you stay safe, the animals stay safe, and the hobby stays safe. Wow, the Rinkhals Cobra. What an amazing snake. Whew. Look at that guy. Whew. A little bit of venom on my face shield there. Oh, that's awesome. Whoo, doggy, I love it. See how he's rolling over? He's acting completely stiff, like he can't move. Can move him around, and now he's just kind of popping up. That's what they do. How freaking awesome is that? And guys, remember, a snake is a snake is a snake. Obviously, venomous snakes aren't something that you should mess with on the level that you would maybe mess with a ball python or a corn snake. And I always definitely want to stress the fact you shouldn't keep venomous snakes or work with venomous snakes if you're just trying to do a macho trip. Because listen, these guys need to be respected, but not feared. Again, the thing that is is the biggest message that I always talk about when I talk about venomous snakes is that they don't want to bite you. Snakes don't think that way. They don't bite out of like spite or bite out of, hey, I just want to bite someone. The only time they bite is out of necessity. If they feel scared, if they feel threatened, if they feel like they are cornered, they're going to do it. We've even seen with black mambas that when you go towards them, they'll come at you, but as soon as you back away, they immediately back away. So venomous snakes are absolutely amazing, and I never feel more alive than when I get a chance to play with them. They're so amazing, but I definitely don't want you guys to be encouraged to do it without having a lot of experience. Again, my first venomous snake was when I was 17 years old, and I've been messing with them ever since. They're absolutely, truly amazing. So today was great, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. With that said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and just end the vlog. I mean, I don't know what else to do after you get to play with a bunch of really awesome venomous snakes. I mean, I think that was enough for the day. I hope you guys agree, and I hope that you guys have an absolutely amazing day, evening, whenever you happen to be watching. Your support means the world to me, and I truly, truly love you guys so much. Do me a favor, comment down below. Let me know what you think about that. Would you ever want to give it a go? Do you want to eventually work with venomous snakes? I mean, do you think that I'm just crazy? Do you think that it's nuts to do that? I would love to hear your part about it. While you're down there, can you do me a favor and smash that like button, as well as turn those post notifications on so you know when I upload a video. Make sure to be kind to someone today, and I promise I will see you guys tomorrow.